and when my name in your mouth. I do the Maybach on Monday, Ferrari Friday. This is sweet Saturday, that's just what I say. I say, babe, it's a, he said it's a, them pretty, you look like Beyonce, looking like money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, yeah, money back, money back, money back, money back, money back, he can tell from the front, I got it behind me, and I park my Bentley truck on my Versace driveway, looking like money back, 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 money.
We are just a few miles from the Gulf Coast of Florida at Raymond James Stadium here in Tampa. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Green Bay Packers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they'll go on the ground. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. So they can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
To throw on 2nd down, Murray. And right away, he lost the football. And this is going to be Packer football. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations, big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now after the fumble recovery, it's Rodgers. Going to throw right side here, complete. Give him 9 there on the first down completion. That last catch short of the marker by just a yard leaves him with a very manageable 2nd and 1. They'll run. This is Melvin Gordon. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well.
They were not fooling around at all, were they? 2nd and short, and they brought out the heavy package. Almost felt like the super heavy package against that defense, didn't it?
Yeah, I don't think they expected that much beef up front, and it turned into an easy first down conversion. A first red zone opportunity now for the Packers. They come up 1st and 10 at the 16. Now the handoff comes to Gordon, and this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage back at the 17. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
Let's go, hey, let's go, come on.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. And he fires one that's intercepted. Vernon Hargreaves with a pick. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about, what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On 1st and 10, Murray. And this is incomplete. James White, the man he was looking for out of the backfield. That'll bring up 2nd down.
So it looked like maybe his 3rd or his 4th read on his progression. Just trying to find his outlet man that time. Ends up leading him just a bit too much.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10.
Hey. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. Hot.
Throwing again. Murray. Now he'll dump it underneath to his running back. Complete. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They go play action here on 1st down. Rolling to his left. And finding the tight end Hooper. And he works it to the 30-yard line here, right at the 30. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the 1st down completion.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there? Freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
And on the ground they go with a running back. And he'll go down at the 28. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
The former Indiana Hoosier here, Tevin Coleman. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Off play action. Murray. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he will reach the 5-yard line before going out of bounds. That one goes for 24 yards. First time into the red zone for the Buccaneers. They've got it 1st and goal at the 6. They'll come out in the pistol. They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2.
Not a whole lot there after the penalty, but remember, it was 1st and 5, not 1st and 10, so now they can keep grinding out first downs and good things can happen for them. Just 2nd and short coming up.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal.
I got it on Philly. Here we go. Set. 3-19.
And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
This has been a long drive. You got to figure a field goal would be a letdown. Can they convert now on 3rd and goal? They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the 1st quarter of play. Back now with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Bucs in possession of the football as we begin the 2nd quarter. They are, however, facing a 4th down situation. And the first play will be a field goal try. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Catanzaro's kick is right through, and the Bucs take a 3-0 lead. So still no touchdowns in the first half, but we do have some action on the scoreboard with the field goal.
So maybe now the mentality changes in this game because anytime you can get to the red zone, and if you don't come away with 6 points, you feel like it's a disappointment. In a game like this one, being able to kick field goals means you're right there, and then you're just looking for that big break to take you over the top.
The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And the interception thrown in the red zone last time. We'll see if they can rebound.
I just have to think the last thing he said as they went back out there was, don't do that again. What do you think?
What do you think?
Yeah, I think that. I think that not only did he say that, but he also told him, let's put it in the end zone that it's supposed to be in, all right? The end zone we're trying to score. I know we're being a little bit facetious here, but the bottom line is take care of the football, and everything else should flow from there.
Quick lesson, never ask the play-by-play guy a question.
Hey, you're my partner. I know you're right there with me.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up 3rd.
My man's getting a little loose with the football there, right? Interception before, almost had one here. He's got to start taking better care of it.
Yeah, really should have been back-to-back drives with interceptions. He's lucky there. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Shotgun now for Rodgers. Looking deep for Adams. And that one incomplete. Had some position but couldn't hold on, and it brings up 4th down. I know he wants to get his team back in the game, but a 50-50 ball right there that maybe was a little questionable.
Yeah, he's pretty lucky to get that one back. I think that sometimes these quarterbacks play with a lot of confidence that borders on arrogance, and that can put your team in some Dutch.
Yeah, especially maybe want to look at some safer routes after the interception he had that ended their last drive. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. And that play there, boy, almost looked like it was a video game and he didn't know what the pitch button was. Not very well executed.
Yeah, and if you don't know what it is, you better figure it out fast. I suggest knowing it before you actually run that play.
Lucky 56.
Looking to throw on second down. Murray being chased out left. And he hits his running back, Tevin Coleman. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A very solid gain of 27.
We talk about mobility on quarterbacks all the time. Here's where it really pays off. Able to move, evade, and is accurate throwing on the run and picking up a first down.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
And now he'll tuck it and run. And some good tackling there as he stopped up at about the 41. 2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's second down. Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
Now let's go. Green 39.
Coleman now. And he stopped immediately there. The tackle will be credited to Jake Ryan.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line. Scrimmage, absolutely nowhere to run there.
Gun! Hey, 4 down. Now let's go. 319.
Off the play fake. Murray, he's going to let this one go deep. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
This close to the goal line, you got to be very careful with the offense calls rub routes. When I call a pick trying to screen you off from your coverage, does a nice job of avoiding that and helping force an incompletion.
And this is good. He got just enough to clear the crossbar as he drops it in from long distance. And that will double their lead as it's up to 6. These kickers now, it used to be that a 50-plus yarder was cause for celebration. Now seemingly automatic.
Yeah, isn't it funny when we prepare for a game, when you look at the backgrounds of these kickers, it's interesting, isn't it, to find out they were all-state quarterbacks, receivers, defensive backs, all-state wrestlers, right? Baseball players. We're finding athletes all along, and now they're just specialists putting it through the posts.
And now the Packers get set to go. And it's been a rocky start for them thus far. They had the turnover and then the punt on those first 2 drives.
So there is optimism because they've improved, right? Turnover, you just noted it on the first drive.
Punt's better than the turnover.
The punt is better on the second one. Now they're hoping to turn into first downs and hopefully points.
Rodgers now to throw. Caught on the right side by Adams. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Rodgers now on first down. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
Well, they were unable to make anything really big out of that, but it's not a bad idea to find your tight end and give him an easy completion and keep moving things forward. Almost as bread and butter as a good running back dive play.
That first down completion only netted him 3. Second and 7. Now Rodgers. Throw left side complete. It's Bird. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Tampa after this timeout. So a challenge coming down from the booth, and that's where these challenges come from, of course, in the final 2 minutes of the half.
Yeah, now we're going to New York, right? That's command central for the officials. They'll talk, they'll take a look at it, communicate with the referee at the game site, and issue a final decision because they do have the final call now.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. To throw is Rodgers. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Bird. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
Flushed out right. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 47. He lost 9 there. That's really going to set him back for second down.
Get reset. Hey, easy.
Again, they'll throw with Rodgers. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Rodgers again now. Oh, the Buccaneer pressure too much. Down he goes. Well, they went with the nickel. They throw in an extra defensive back. Coverage was very good.
Yeah, it was exactly as you would expect. A passing down, you bring in the nickel package. Just as you described, the coverage was excellent and allowed one of their linemen to end up getting to the quarterback.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he'll punt it away for the second time. And he'll go ahead and field this at the 5. A big kick that time, 52 yards. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the Packers, as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1.
No, check. Patriot. Now let's go. Green 39.
And they'll run it here. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. Second down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold them to no gain.
Now let's go. 319. Gone.
And they'll try the ground game here with the running back. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Give him 3 yards, and now they're left needing a conversion here on 3rd and 6. So a couple of field goals, that's all we've been able to muster through 2 quarters of play. 6-0 is our count at the break. As we toss it an hour or so east of here to Orlando, it's Jonathan Coachman with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or two shy of the 30. The first update from Levi's Stadium in Santa Clara. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. That one tight to this point, and you'd have to imagine it'll stay tight throughout. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line.
Let's go, hey, let's go, come on.
They fake the give. Now Rodgers. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense, they spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Back to the air on 2nd down. It's Rodgers. And that is incomplete here. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that. And thus far, they've been successful.
The Packers on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 10.
We are going.
Shotgun now for Rodgers. And that's incomplete.
We've seen these defenses make enough opportunistic plays to keep this one low scoring. Flying around, making plays on the ball, and we see yet another errant throw as a result.
Here's J.K. Scott now as he's on to punt for Green Bay. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense and let them go down and score and give us more of a cushion in the game. Check so far. Defense shut up.
He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Now a handoff. This is Gordon. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Part of the thinking when you bring in extra tight ends, you're hoping that each of your guys gets those one-on-one blocks and creates a crease for your runner. You know what the converse is, though? You've got to win those one-on-one blocks, and when you don't, that's the result you end up with.
Now that'll be tipped and intercepted. Picked up by DeMonte Casey. Thought they had something going there to break that goose egg here in the second half, but to no avail.
Hope was alive until that interception. What a terrific play, taking the ball away after it looked like they were starting a drive.
And now that shutout still standing. You know that's something those defensive guys hold a lot of pride on, too.
No doubt about it. They're excited about where they are in this game.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Throwing on 1st down. Murray. Murray fighting, lost the football, but it looks like a Buccaneer was able to corral it. Yes, the Bucs have it. Tampa Bay keeps the possession.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
They hit that crossing route really well. Excellent timing, puts it right on him, and he keeps running.
Yeah, turned it upfield for good yardage. So the big play has him all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10.
Now let's go. Blue 90. Blue 90. Gone, gone. Gone, gone.
Now they'll run it on the toss. He'll get about 6 there as he takes this one down to the 24-yard line.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
And they'll go with the ground attack here. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
This is what happens sometimes when you abandon the running game. It's hard to get back to it because once guys get out of that mentality of firing out and hitting people, hard to get them started again occasionally.
Here's Murray. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 25. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28. Yard line. Rodgers will break the huddle and bring the pack up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. So after the INT, it's Rodgers. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Maybe a little frustration starting to creep in. The offensive line hasn't done a great job of protecting him in this game, and there he was, hit again as he threw it.
Yeah, another time on his backside, probably starting to get a little frustrated.
Got to keep his composure. Can't let the defense know that they're getting to him.
So now they'll come up on 2nd and 10, once again from the 28. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And that is intercepted on the sideline. Wait, no. They'll say no. It was caught out of bounds. So this is just an incompletion here. The Packers on third down. They've only converted once in 4 tries. This is 3rd and 10. On play action. Now Rodgers. Now look out. Rodgers lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the ending, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
And a short pickup there as he'll take this up to right around the 20.
Nice job by that defensive front there to hold him to a short gain on first down. Well played, I must say.
Yeah, only getting 1 yard. There was no room to run.
Hurry up, here we go. 319. 319. Detroit! Detroit! Back 99 Philly, here we go. Hot.
To throw on second down. Murray. And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. He had a quick little spin move, but the door shut fast as he's dropped. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. He's been quiet today in the passing game, just his 2nd catch.
Yeah, and people have to come up with schemes to limit him. And what a lot of teams do, they'll double him, you know, use a linebacker underneath, a safety over the top. Sometimes they'll just take a corner, maybe their 3rd corner if he's a bigger guy, and put him on a man-to-man to try and limit his touches. Just keep mixing it up, give him different angles, different looks, like a good boxer does.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On 3rd down, it's White, and he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Fielded just inside the 20. Officially, that'll go as a 52-yard punt. Not too shabby. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Quick update from Levi's Stadium. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down. They'll try and get the ground game going. Here's Gordon. And he'll get about 4 across the 30 to the 32.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the 1st level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the 2nd level.
Hey, check 26.
On 2nd down, here's Rodgers. He'll hit Watkins on the crossing route. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Give him 30 yards there. Back now in Tampa. It's the Packers who have the football, but in need of points as we begin quarter number 4. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10.
258.
Rodgers now on 1st down. And down he goes. A Buccaneer sack. D. Ford in there to pick up his 2nd sack now of the afternoon. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on second down.
319.
Working from the gun, Rodgers. Steps away to his left. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
And once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. The Packers on third down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This will be a tough 3rd and 18. Throwing is Rodgers. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down. Well, let's see how the offense still out there. They elect to go on 4th and 11.
319.
Now Rodgers got to have this one. Looking deep for Adams. And that is incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Buccaneers defense holds and they get the football back. And the Buccaneers getting ready to go as they take the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the first down run goes backwards.
Gun! All right, here we go. Blue 90! Blue 90! Gun! Detroit! Hot!
Now this time he'll look to throw. Buying time to his left. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The tight end Cameron Brate was the target. And that'll make it 3rd down. A pretty good coverage there, and both of these defenses, they've had good coverage throughout this one.
No doubt about it, and in today's NFL, where we're used to a bit more scoring, this feels almost like a well-pitched game in baseball on both sides where the tension continues to build. Who's going to make the big play?
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down.
Blue 90! Detroit!
Murray now. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. And it's Clinton Dix with a pick. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 49.
319!
From the gun, it's Rodgers. Going deep here for Watkins. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle 3rd of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
trying to erase that deficit all at once. One big shot. He took it. Unfortunately for him, incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Throwing again. He's going to fire one deep over the middle. No, he almost had it. Already with one interception, just missing his second there. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, it really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
The Packers on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 10. Rodgers operating from the gun. Under pressure here, and down he goes. Sacked back at about the 43-yard line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it.
319!
As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And no, it's incomplete. The Packers unable to pick up the first. And the Bucs are going to take over with excellent field position to boot. So out come the Bucs now. Still a lot that can happen, but you think they get points on this drive, even if it's just 3, should wrap this one up.
And you got to love their starting field position. So if you're the play caller right now, being on the plus side of the 50, you're thinking exactly what you're saying. Get 3, get out of here with at least that. But hey, you might have a chance to put 6 on the board and really take control.
Detroit! Detroit! Gone!
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Cole. A good pickup there, 26 yards. This quarterback now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10.
Patriot! Here we go now. Blue 90! Blue 90!
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
So if I'm an offensive coordinator, there's one thing that I know for sure. This is one of the top 5 teams in the NFL against the run. So when I look at my playlist, I'm probably thinking about throwing it.
Clock continuing to run. They'll probably wind this all the way before snapping it on 2nd down.
Here we go now.
Now they'll run it on the toss. And he'll get this one down to about the 17. And now, defensively, they're going to burn their first timeout. Remember, they get an extra time built in coming up here shortly at the 2-minute warning. One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down.
Now let's go. 319! 319! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Now they try the right side here. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. It's a 7-yard run, but it does bring up 4th down.
good, strong run against the 3-4 set. And that 3-4, you got to have your guys up front eat up a lot of blocks. The guy playing over the center, the nose, he usually has to take on double teams. But when you're able to successfully move him, you're often able to get some yardage, and that's when linebackers have to clean up and make tackles.
Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. And Catanzero's kick is right through, and that will make our score 9-0. Same story continues. He's the only one that scored for them, their kicker, with all the points.
So now when we hear the chants of MVP, MVP, they're definitely aimed at him because he has been the only guy who's put points on the board in this game.
Kickers are always either the hero or the GOAT. So far, he's definitely the hero. The Packer offense now ready to get back onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3. And that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
He's going to let it fly. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on it at 2nd down.
Got to be wary of throwing an interception here because the defense knows they're going to get tested deep. That's why they're going to put a couple of extra guys back there to try and prevent that.
Yeah, late in the 4th quarter here, trying to preserve the lead. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. To throw is Rodgers. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. And he gets this down deep into Tampa Bay territory. It's a big play there for Green Bay. And even 60 yards. Line of scrimmage moves from their own 25 all the way to the red zone now for 1st and 10. Rodgers to throw. This is caught. Watkins. And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Sammy Watkins, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers are back within a score. Point after, right down the middle. And that will get them one closer. So down only 2 now, still a chance to finagle their way into field goal range if they can get this onside kick. And the Buccaneers able to recover. Their hands team does its job. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Now it looks like he'll throw here. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Kevin King with a pick. There he goes, right side. So that one will be accepted. We saw a number of good games earlier today. This one might top all of those. It's been a dandy as we come up on 1st and 10. He'll look to throw. Wide open is Watkins. He's got him. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19.
That's exactly what they were looking for. If they get another gain like that, they'll be right there in field goal range.
And the tension building. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the fourth quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Extra point up and through. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. One possession game, time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39, green 39. Leopard,
Back to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And, oh, a crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander.
And that one, oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to come up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. A road win in the National Football League. Charles, you never take that for granted, no matter who you're playing, no matter where you're playing.
You take it and you run with it. And you know you primed the pump all week in your own home facility. No one thinks we can do this. Only people who believe are right here in this room. And then you go on the road, band together, and get it done.
So for the Packers, they remain as hot as anyone, 6-0 now through the first month and a half. And they'll return home next week to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Meanwhile, for the